sandy beaches, lush rainforests, vibrant coral reefs. It's no secret that Belize is a beautiful country. Its natural attractions and ecosystems have turned Belize into a popular tourist destination. But does this recent tourism boom come at a cost? Belize is a small Central American country located between Guatemala and Mexico on the Caribbean Sea. With a population of about 334,000 people occupying an area the size of New Jersey, Belize has the lowest population density in Central America. Over the last decade, tourism has become the second largest industry in Belize, and it's easy to see why. Whether you want to fly through the jungle canopy on a zip line or swim with sharks and tortoises on the barrier reef, there really is something for everyone here. However, most of these activities rely on the country's fragile natural resources and ecosystem. And with the tourism industry expanding so rapidly, who is responsible for preserving them?
The government of Belize are pretty much switched on to what they have on their doorstep. So they know what they have, they know what kind of natural resource they have there, and they're trying their best to actually keep it that way.
Declan Kelly is a scuba diving instructor at Hopkins Underwater Adventures in the small village of Hopkins. His business uses many of Belize's protected areas for its diving and snorkeling tours. His livelihood depends on the tourism industry, and he fully understands the importance of conservation. There are many national parks, monuments, sanctuaries, and reserves in Belize, both land and marine-based. While the federal government oversees and provides funding for these parks, every park is managed by a different non-governmental organization.
There's a lot of natural marine reserves. We have I think it's about 5 different marine reserves on the coastline itself. We also have areas of interest inland, like the forests. Some of those forest areas are also national parks. But what we have heard in the last couple of years is how some of those natural parks now are being actually used when they shouldn't be used the way they are. So there are a number of activists which are very, very smart people when it comes to what Belize have, and they're trying to stop any kind of encroachment onto those national parks.
The country's roads and bridges, many several decades old, are also struggling to keep up with the demands of a growing tourism industry.
Some of the bridges that you've probably driven over, they're single-lane bridges, they're being replaced too. Not as fast as it probably should be when you look at the actual volume of traffic on the roads. But there are funds there in place to improve the infrastructure. It just seems to take so long to get it done.
Mattia Loubert, manager of the marine station at Tobacco Key, a small island off the coast of Belize, gives her perspective on the tough balance between tourism and conservation on the reef.
Right now, it's really difficult to just make people aware of what the conservation is for and to make them understand that the conservation is for them. It's a really tough balance to maintain, and the population is much more willing to go for tourism and oil.
Offshore drilling for oil, which has already begun in some places, is another threat to the reef.
So basically in Belize, they are all willing to open tourism and oil exploration because they see how rich it would make them. So it's really hard to keep the balance with conservation. If you look right now at the map of the offshore Belize, every single meter square of the coast has already been sold to an oil company. The only thing that stops it is that they don't have the permit to drill yet. So yes, as soon as they get all the permits, the entire coast of Belize will get oil companies everywhere because all the concessions have already been sold.
Lubert believes that tourism is the main reason conservation efforts on the reef are needed. She explains that without the growing number of tourists, the health of the reef would not be in jeopardy. One of the main detriments to the marine ecosystem is commercial fishing, which continues to grow with the tourism industry.
So they're the two threats, I would say, in a way, but in my opinion, tourism is a much bigger threat than fishing in Belize. So I really think that without tourism, yes, the country would have much less money, and it's obviously good for the country to have all this tourism coming in because it helps improving schools, improving everything in the country, which is really good. But if you just look at it in a conservation point of view, then tourism is just a horrible idea.
Belize is a beautiful Caribbean destination and will continue to attract travelers from around the world. Left unchecked, however, this popularity has the potential to destroy the natural attractions that make this country so special.